Kave, ukikuja kuzima internet kama na hiyo barabara iko hapa kwa kichwa yako. I don't know if ni barabara ama ni landing zone. Take your pick. Tumechoka kama kumi kwanza nimechoka.
Because what's going on? Like really, what's going on? Kabogo, shida iko wapi? Is this midlife crisis? Identity crisis because you want to be young? Because what the hell is this headpiece? He wants to be paid, I guess, by media stations because he's bringing views on YouTube. Now this? Oh, child. Oh, dear Lord. May this midlife crisis not find me. Tafadhali. This is insane. I'm done. I'm done with Kabogo.
And those who are saying, Mlima iko shida, mlima haina shida. Mimi nitaenda mlimani baadaye na nitatumana salamu za Mheshimiwa Rais na zitapokewa. Hiyo kelele iko mlima itakuja kwisha. Itakuja kwisha.
You see the traffic. Look at the traffic. Trevor, you are in this business.
Yes.
Look at the traffic of now, tonight. It's high.
Yes.
Yes.
You think it's because of the...
What do you think? I go to Jeff Koinange, it is the same story.
Okay.
If I go to Kameme, it is the same story. You understand? I probably should start earning on YouTube and the other platforms.
Yeah.
I've done this before. I've run a county perfectly well. No audit issues with Senate.
You have a job. I don't know why you're gunning for YouTube and things like that. Like, what the hell? Why is he gunning for YouTube? I thought you had a switch that you wanted to go like to switch off the internet. Like, aren't you in ICT and you have a job that you're supposed to do as a CS in whatever it is? What does he do again? This is how much I really don't care about his position in this government.
So William Kabogo's interview yesterday brought to light something very weird, that the excessive force that was used by the police was justified during the Gen Z protest. And this is what he said.
But do you also admit that there were certain excesses by the government? We're so young.
You know, when you start seeing people now blaming each side, when you see, you hear people say, listen, you hear people say,
the Constitution.
You hear people say they were peaceful up to a certain extent. Others say there were guns who were brought. Because when it says unarmed and you have a stone or a sling, you are armed. Because when it says unarmed and you have a stone or a sling, you are armed.
How do you justify someone who's carrying a rock? Let's say they carried a rock, which most people who were shot didn't. How do you justify a young person who is fighting for their country, demonstrating, carrying a flag and a bottle of water? How do you justify that even if they carried a rock, they can be met by a force of a gun? How do you justify that? I was actually very disappointed just knowing that someone who was out there, who was not in government, who was seeing things the same way we are seeing them, would actually come to our televisions and say that the police were actually justified. That's exactly what he said.
Because when it says unarmed and you have a stone or a sling, you are armed.
By him not accepting and saying there was excessive force and there was extrajudicial actions or killings. Because President Ruto, in his end-of-year address in Kisii, he said that there was extrajudicial actions.
It cannot be denied, ladies and gentlemen, that there has been instances of excessive and extrajudicial actions by members of the security services.
He actually accepted after a whole year of refusing. And now William Kabogo comes and claims that it is justified. I'm just wondering, what happens to our leaders when they take these oaths? What actually happens? Because once you take an oath in this government, everything called common sense disappears. You start seeing everyone else as an enemy. You start justifying why the government did certain things. Is it a generation of leaders that we have? Or is it just the fact that once you join this government, you become one and the same? It's actually very unfortunate coming from a leader like him. because I thought he was seeing things the same way we were. When you see him talking and addressing it as if it's something similar. So the police fired those shots against protesters, according to him, who are carrying stones, which are considered being armed, saying a slingshot or a rock is equal to a force like a gun. That interview brought to light a lot of things. A lot of lies, yes, but also a whole lot to think about. Because if this is the government we are going to go with into the elections, with this kind of cabinet secretaries, then where are we headed? For almost 2 hours, all he talked about was politics. Instead of hearing what the Ministry of ICT is going to do, we were hearing about the opposition. All we heard about is him bad-mouthing the former deputy president. I was actually looking forward when he was given a chance to talk about his last words to the people of Kenya. Instead of talking of how ICT is going to move steps higher, how we are going to see a lot of transformation in our digital space, instead, he started talking politics. A cabinet secretary talking politics instead of talking development. We need to ask ourselves so many questions. But I'll leave you with a challenge to go and watch that interview. And then you tell me if we are headed in the right direction.
Which court orders? See. Yeah, this is our governor, former Kabogo, former governor. This is where I live. All of you know me, Dadesha. I'm trying to come into my house, and it's preventing me from getting into my house. That my car has to be inspected by him. Yes. By the way, guys, this is the guy who has assaulted me. I have an assault case with him in court, and he frustrates me. Here he is with his bodyguards here, and here he is trying to put me, in my house. And he has, by the way, this guy has switched off power in my own house. My family, my kids do not have power right now because I installed a generator. And then he says that the generator I installed is causing a power fault. This is what you get from this guy called Governor Kabogo. Yeah, this is what he's doing to me. Yeah, he's here. You can see him. I'm not lying. This is the kind of things that we are getting from this guy. Yeah.
So Exhibit 5 of the properties we're supposed to occupy. This time we are on Kiambu Road. They are homes called Iguta homes. They belong to Kabogo. It's 60 units. It's a residential community. They are developed on about 7 to 10 acres. He grabbed the land, actually. He grabbed the land from a friend that trusted him to safekeep. So he grabbed it, then built 60 units. Very ugly houses by there. He's selling them, I don't know, for 30-40 million, but at for free, I wouldn't take them. They are very crass. They look so bad. Very ugly looking houses. He looted Kiambu County coffers to oblivion so that he could raise the money to build these ugly houses. And I think some units are actually sold. And actually, there's a time on social media I saw some family saying they're being harassed by him. He's anawazimia maji and all of that. And I was like, you Kenyans mnakonga pia na nguvu sana. Why would you buy property from a politician? You willingly give a Kenyan politician your money and you're buying property from them. Even you guys need to get serious. That's why I'm telling these boomers, you people need to get serious, okay? So this is property. An acre here would go for around 50, 60, 70 million shillings. So do that with them. That's those 7 acres and see the hundreds of millions of shillings worth of land that has been grabbed by Kabogo and built those ugly housing units. You can see them on your way to Quickmart. Ziko tu ndani ukiingia kidogo. So this is another one of the properties that we should occupy. Not that we should, that we are gonna occupy. Yeah, he looted Kiambu County coffers to oblivion and built these ugly houses. Considering the quality of finishing and all of that, I don't think it costed him over 10 million shilling to build a unit. I highly doubt he did. I've seen the way the interiors look. They are very ugly. Anyway, we're gonna occupy these properties.
The only thing this government knows how to do best is issue threats. And they think they can rule us by issuing threats every day. Unaamka unapata kuna threats. Sahi Kabogo hata haujakaa 1 month, haujalipa hata mshahara moja, haujalipa affordable housing hata moja. Ashaanza kututhreaten vile ata shut down all social media. The same Kabogo mwenye alikuwa anaingia kwa X space tukiongelea mambo ya good governance. You people, these politicians, they are snakes, all of them ni manyokes. Sasa Kabogo, let me ask you. Kutumia social media vizuri ni aje? Kusifu government, kusema SHA is working, kusema how William Ruto is the best president. Count us out. We are not going to behave like we don't have brains. Unfortunately, we have brains. Unfortunately, tulisoma. Free education. Does it ring a bell to you? These people. Yani, ni sisi wana threaten our generation like us. Ati watazima internet. First of all, mkizima internet, cause walisema ati wataita watu wa Meta na watu wa X Space na watu wa Twitter na watu wa TikTok ati they must open an office in Kenya. Hey, it's okay. Mkisema wafungue. However, consider sisi tuna contribute how much profit to those companies. Literally, Elon Musk bought Twitter at 440 billion USD. That is more than our budget as Kenya. That is more than our budget. Yani budget yetu ya mwaka mzima is around 300 and something USD dollars. Elon Musk bought Twitter at 440. So if you think tuna contribute even 1%, Kenya does not contribute even 1% of their profit. So ukiwaambia wa shut down, what a shut down too? They're just going to shut it down. Meta, I think they made 100 billion USD last year, 2024. Kenya haiku contribute at 1 billion. So ukiwaambia wa shut down, what a shut down too, but who is going to lose? The Kenyans. Unaona wenye unajaribu kusika approval yao, au Gen Z wenye unatry ku win back, hao ndio wata lose their source of income. Na hao ndio wata-occupy kwenye wata-occupy. So you keep threatening us, lakini hatukutambui.
Na Mheshimiwa Naibu wa Rais, nilikwambia miaka 3 imepita. Usingojee kiti ati kwa sababu uliambiwa tafuta. Urutanguo ni gwithamba. Tafuta kiti itapatikana ukitafuta. Ukikosa kupatikana, ikikosa kutafuta, ndugu yangu, jipange. Na nikwambie njia rahisi ni kuona jeshi tiganu. Hawa jamaa hawana raha. Hawa vijana unaona hapa wamekaa hawana raha. Mfuko iko kando, iko haina kitu. Tukipata kitu ya kuwekea hawa mifuko ikuwe sawa, tuthiete muno. Mimi nakwambia haki ya Mungu, hata afadhali wakose reli na wapate chakula. Sasa mtu tumbo bure unamuuliza nini? Hata mwingine anauliza Kabogo iko hapa. Kwani wewe ulikuwa unataka niende wapi?
Huyu Mheshimiwa Kabogo, unajua ni rafiki yangu. Na Kabogo, kwa sababu ni rafiki yangu na ni rafiki yako, saa zingine ni mchokozi. Saa zingine ni mchokozi. Kwa sababu sasa amekuja kunistaki kwako ati mimi uwanga nafanya siasa. Sasa Bwana Kabogo, Mheshimiwa Rais, mimi nataka nikuambie hiyo maneno Kabogo amesema si ukweli. Kama kuna wenye wanafanya siasa ni wengine, sio mimi. Power is transient. And the people of Kenya will overcome. We will not submit to your threats and blackmail. We will not bow to you. We will not worship you. We worship the living God in heaven. We worship no human being. A friend of mine once corrected me when I said that in Africa there is corruption. He said, no, in Africa there is no corruption. Corruption presupposes there is some element of intelligence in theft. What we see in Africa is looting and theft on an industrial scale. They want to be described as honorable even when they are horrible. They acquire things which they have not worked for. They promise us things that they know they will never deliver. And there is no shortage of such men and women in the African continent.
Hi Kenyans, mi sina maneno mengi. All I want to say is Ruto must go. Like yesterday. Bye.
You like me, why them a fight me, You like me, chewing a bone, bite it. You like me, chewing a bite it. Don't like power and you. When you touch them, even if we put them. When you touch them, stay fine, not touch them. When you touch them, what they are, man, I'm something. In fan, my message, I bust them up.